So this is video where I'm going to be playing Civilization 1 on Emperor. I'm going to show you the way that I play to try and get a consistently good game. Probably not too much commentary. I'll try and stick to the basics. So we're going to play on the toughest difficulty level, 7 civilizations, because it's the most interesting, I guess probably the most difficult. I'm going to start with Romans, but if there's demand for the videos, I'll go through and just do all of them, basically, one at a time. Okay, so we'll start with the Romans. So we start off with alphabet, which is good, because we're going to need that for mathematics, which we're going to need quite soon. Yeah, you can move around and look for better places to settle, but speed is of the essence in the early game. It's not about having the best location for a capital. It's about, well, you do want the best location ideally, but it's not about moving around lots to find that. It's about trying to get a second city out as soon as possible. Interesting choice here. So what we really wanted was masonry, so we can get mathematics, which they haven't given us the option for. So probably bronze working or the wheel. If you're going aggressive in the early game, you want to get code of laws, mysticism to get philosophy and democracy. Probably get bronze working. It's a difficult decision that so early on. Okay. So now we want to settle as quickly as possible. If you count this, I've never done this, but I'm trying to work out which is quicker. I probably do want. Yeah, this is generally you just want the extra food. This is good because it's within 2 squares of the capital, which means we're going to get it, and it's not going to be barbarians, which is good. So legion, which is not ideal. You prefer to have a cavalry. Either of those two are, well, you can sometimes win with a legion against militia. But other than that, any unit that's lower than chariot is basically a waste of time in terms of attacking. But cavalry can be good for, cavalry's a cheap way to get something you can scout with. But ideally, if you're being strategic in the longer game, it's a diplomat that you go for scouting. Too risky to go into huts that are not 2 squares away because of barbarians. It actually goes on quite far into the game, to be honest. There's ways around it I'll explain later. But this one we can get. We've got more mercenaries. So now I've got 2 legions. If I'm up against someone who doesn't have bronze working, then I could take them out with 2 legions. I mean, the probability is in my favour, as it were. Some very nice land over there. Some not so amazing land over here, although it's nice enough to have 1 city there and 1 city there. But I suspect this is where we'll need to expand into because it's where other civs will be. Possible it could be down there or possibly over there, but here we go. French. Okay, so the second one here tells you whether or not you can try and get money from them. This one just says welcomes to friendship, so we can demand tribute. If it said we spare you from the wrath of their enemies or something like that, then that's bad. They also didn't seem to have it. They didn't want to exchange knowledge, which means they don't seem to have much knowledge. Then, in that case, we started off with 3, didn't we? Alphabet, pottery, and so many others. They might have one of those, or they might have bronze working. Which is not ideal if they're bronze working. The real question is, do I attack with my legions? It's very tempting to, obviously, to try and get them out early. It's possible he might even win against a phalanx, and they should only have 1 defence at this point. That's quite funny. I'm almost low on production. So now I have to work this out. So possibly 1 here, 1 there. What I'm doing in my head is saying, right, there's a city there. There are, you can see within the city that once you've seen all of the area around, you've got 3 layers of 5, 1 layer of 3, 1 layer of 3. So it's like a cross. So this will go up to there, and you basically just want to get all of the squares on the island that are any good. That one there, and possibly that one there. There's loads of good. Rivers are really good. They're the best thing for cities, really, in the early game. Yeah, but I'm now wary that I've basically, you feel like you've got to defend all of this land. This land is mine. I need to try and defend all of it at the same time as trying to get rid of the French. So there's a lot to do. And we just spend the Aztecs. So the good thing about finding the Aztecs down there, very tempting. Very tempting. I don't want them to have bronze working, which I now have, which is the issue of getting in the first place. Yeah, tough, but I think, yeah, let's do it. Good, okay, so it looks like they've already got bronze working. Because bronze working is the most fundamental for most of the civs, I think. I think it is. Yeah, very interesting. There's a hut here as well. Still no mathematics, but I can get writing. And writing is very useful for strategy. Now that's fantastic that there's a hut there that's just 2 squares away from their city, which means I'm assuming there's no barbarians. Or if there are barbarians, they'll go straight for. You would assume they'd go for the Aztecs' capital, but you can never assume anything on Emperor. Excuse me. Right, now I might take a bit of time out to do a road for a little bit of extra trade to double my science. Basically, gives you 1 extra trade. So scrolls of ancient wisdom. So mysticism, that's a good one. We need that one for philosophy. Not philosophy. Do I mean philosophy? Yeah, philosophy. Right. So, okay. Another question is where. So where do I go? Because these French are miles away. They're miles away. I'm going to have difficulty actually getting to them. This might be a rare situation where I wish I'd gone for the wheel, but I never really buy into that. It's too risky. There's loads of amazing land up here. Very tricky, but I think what I might do actually is build a city here which might seem like a crazy idea. Maybe it is a bit crazy. The idea is to get these game and this one here, which means you'll have loads of production. It's a very tricky decision actually, whether to go south to the Aztecs or whether to go over to here. I can't decide, so I'm going to split the difference and go in the middle. I don't know what the French are going to do or where they are. I don't know if I'm even going in the correct direction for them. But the Aztecs are going to be... They're going to have a settler coming out very soon. I'm going to need to find that and track it down. So I think it makes sense to just have two cities that are closer together that can go in either direction. I can't really see them having a city, their capital up here. And it'd be better to try and keep these legions together if I'm going to go for an attack. And I think I might risk that. I think that is worth it. But I can't, I don't know, it's very difficult to know. Okay, so it's 2. So yeah, they might have bronze working. In which case, yeah, I might just lose the legions. But it's kind of too tempting a proposition. And basically, if you don't use them for attacking, then they don't serve a purpose anyway. You know, once you've discovered all the land, that's what you needed them for anyway. They're actually being used by my city right now, so it's so I'd rather get rid of them to store up production. Anyway, so right, I just need to be careful with the moves. I'll probably end up having them both on the same square. I could even try and get one of them into a veteran. That might isn't a good idea. Yeah, that's what I'm going to try and do. Let's. Yeah, I have to. Do I want to do that? It gives them an extra bit of time to buy a defensive unit in there. If you do that, so I think that's probably not a good idea. Let's stick with this plan. So yeah, if you clear a forest, it takes 4 turns. If you clear a jungle or a swamp, it takes like 15. It's ridiculous, which is why you don't really do that until much later on. It's not something you ever really need to do. I'm walking up here thinking the Aztecs might have brought a settler up there, but it's kind of unlikely. Okay, well let's see if I'm a complete idiot now. Okay, well I was very lucky there. I've beaten the phalanx. Okay, so I've got a militia, which I'm odds on to beat, but I've only got 1 attacking unit. So that was pretty lucky, if I'm honest. That was extremely lucky. Actually, no. So the second they're not fortified, then so when it has the F on it, it means it's not actually fortified yet, basically. So that wasn't too bad. Well, it was pretty lucky. I should have lost that really, to be honest. So I'm not that bothered about map making, and I might steal it off you once I clear civilization as well. So we'll leave that for now. So yeah, so I'm just going to try and get as many cities as possible. I'm not even worried about defences particularly. I could get defence, but the thing is, defences don't really help that much. You normally, if there's a barbarian invasion, then you're a lot more likely to win with a catapult firing out than you are with a defence in the city. but catapults are obviously more expensive. I'm just sort of waiting for them to build a settler so I can follow it, basically. You want to try and get roads joining up cities as quickly as possible. I've got quite a nice little one here, so I think I might just quickly do that because it's not going to take very long. Still bits that are not discovered yet, but really I just need to get going with cities. There's tons of space here, so should be enough on its own. And I've got this as well, and the Aztecs as well. So as long as I can keep a lid on these guys, and obviously the barbarian attacks, I should be fine. And now, because I need to keep an eye on these guys, I'm going to come this way. And I think now, basically, these two are very good squares. Well, this is a very good square, especially in the early game. And yeah, it just makes sense to try and get both of these at the same time, because you can really push out catapults super quick against these guys if you need to. In terms of roads, do I build a road down to that one yet? Next, well, the quickest way to do is diagonally. Okay, so that is the best way to do it, which means building a road over this hill. I think I'm going to leave that for now, because again, the most important thing is speed and getting cities up, and I've got to take out the Aztecs before they get anywhere. This is superconductor. I think is this one. It's a tricky one, this one. There we go. That's the autosave. Yeah, so basically, at this point, I'm going to be spending most of my time just worrying about barbarian attacks, but kind of not really doing much to prepare for them, other than just basically building up production, and then if I need to, changing the production to a catapult at a later date. If I can get the Aztecs to give me some money, that'd be nice. So we will see if we can do that. I kind of feel like you need to move into the open space or basically wherever possible to stop. Basically, if you colonize a certain area, then you don't get as many barbarian uprisings there in general. So, they're trying to threaten me now. If they try and do that, there's no point in demanding tribute. So I won't. That suggests they have a second city somewhere as well. but I don't know if that's true, and I'm not really bothered about that. Well, I'm now wondering if I should just get rid of this legion, but it's kind of tempting. It's kind of I think I need to get rid of it because I need the production, and I need to start building catapults. Actually, no, I can't even do that yet, can I? Because I haven't got mathematics. I went up there, and I'm now. If I have got a second city, then it'll be over here somewhere probably. So I should bring this guy back around. I'll build a road, and then I'll build him. I'll basically get him to go back around again. Roads take 2 turns. If I didn't buy a road, that would cost me 1 turn. But having bought the road, it's now a third of that. So you only lose 1 turn by building a road in the wrong direction. If that makes sense. I'm not sure if I said this, but clearing a forest like this only takes 4 turns, whereas clearing these takes absolutely ages. I don't even know how many turns. It's not worth doing. Okay, yeah, I'll save the roads for later. Now, I've just got to go over there, don't I? But I need the production here for my military units. Okay, that guy can build a city now, so that's good. This is kind of a forward post type base. Which when I get catapults, if the city's 2 in size, then I can build a catapult in 8 turns, which is pretty good. I really don't know if I can be bothered to explore that. I think I'm going to get rid of him. I think I'm going to go here. I might be missing out on a fish somewhere higher up, but that looks okay, I think, overall. So you've got mathematics. That's basically the only thing we need right now, apart from to grow a lot and to basically to get loads of cities everywhere. And then other than that, we just basically go for democracy. So probably, what I normally would do is get 2 more cities. And they are kind of trapped in here. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I think I like the fact they don't have production. They've only got that 1 square. They basically can't grow very easily. They can't grow beyond 3 unless there's a fish over there. So they are trapped. And I don't know where their other city would be. So it's a bit odd. They might just be... I might have just got that wrong. They might not have another city. So catapults. I'm just not very afraid of them. I think we should keep going with settlers. Yeah, I'm surprised there was nothing over there. Let's clear out this area over here. I mean, they're so weak. If there's only 1 city and it's 2, they really are very, very weak. And I'm not really that worried about them. We wanted one there and one there, I think, something like that. That one takes them to there. We can go here, maybe. Yeah, maybe here. So if we have one there and one there, which one do we want first? Well, this one we can build roads up to quite nicely, so let's go up there. I don't know if I need to do it now particularly. Probably not. All the time that you have a settler, your growth is limited to half of what it should be. So you don't have them for too long. Let's do one road. This grassland with a hole in it there, that means it's a grassland with one production in compared to a normal one. Oh, I'll just do one more road. There we go. Maybe give us some money. I never figured out what it means in the background, except that I always assume if there's one person there, that means they've hardly got any cities left, basically. That's very good. So, but I think, yeah, I don't know if that's true or not. Yeah, so with this one, I'm going to build a road to here. At least that's what I was thinking. I'm now thinking, why bother with that? Well, ultimately, you want roads to go everywhere. So that's my justification. Ah, I forgot to change to catapult. Okay, well that means, so this guy will now start building a road upward towards this side. Okay, I'm going to save this game here and I'm going to continue this at another point.